The cosmos beckons, but our journey begins on Earth. At Baikonur Cosmodrome, Kazakhstan, the historic gateway to space. On November 26, 2025, Soyuz MS-28 launched flawlessly, but the immense power of liftoff caused a catastrophic failure of the launch pad. This wasn't just an industrial accident. It was a symbol of shifting tides in space exploration, casting a shadow over Russia's role in the International Space Station. The collapse of Pad 31 is like the only bridge to a remote island suddenly vanishing, raising urgent questions about logistics, safety, and the future of international partnerships. Space travel is unforgiving. Every launch channels immense forces through aging infrastructure, and when that fails, the consequences ripple outward. The Baikonur collapse is about more than old concrete. It's about the relentless pressure of time, tight budgets, and the challenge of maintaining legacy systems while pushing new frontiers. As we explore what happened, we'll see how the fate of astronauts in orbit is tied to the integrity of steel and concrete on Earth. This crisis at Baikonur sets the stage for a dramatic new chapter in our quest to explore the cosmos. It will test our ingenuity, alliances, and resolve. Soyuz MS-28's launch began like countless others, with cosmonauts Sergei Kudryavtsev, Sergei Mikhayev, and NASA's Christopher Williams bound for the ISS. The rocket lifted off perfectly, but chaos erupted on the ground as decades-old structures buckled under the force. A massive, mobile service platform collapsed into the flame trench, designed to channel the rocket's inferno safely away. The result: twisted metal, shattered concrete, and the destruction of critical maintenance areas beneath the pad. Roscosmos confirmed severe damage. This was no minor malfunction, but a fundamental failure at Russia's only operational crew launch facility. The crew docked safely with the ISS, but their success was overshadowed by the crisis below. The paradox: a flawless launch, but a grounded space program. Attention shifted from the crew's arrival to a troubling question: how and when could anyone else launch from Baikonur? The reliability of Soyuz in flight was now in stark contrast to the fragility of its terrestrial support. The future of Russian crewed launches was suddenly in doubt. Pad 31 is Russia's last certified site for launching crews to the ISS, ever since Gagarin's start was retired in 2019. This single point of failure has long been a known risk, now made real. The ISS depends on regular crew rotations, all hinging on reliable launch vehicles and launch pads. Without Pad 31, Russia's ability to fulfill its obligations to the ISS is in jeopardy. Vostochny Cosmodrome, Russia's new spaceport, isn't yet certified for human spaceflight, a process that takes years. The collapse of Pad 31 has turned a slow-moving vulnerability into an urgent crisis. The Soyuz may be reliable, but without a pad, it's just a museum piece. The loss of Pad 31 threatens not just logistics, but Russia's status as a space power. With their only return bridge broken, the Soyuz MS-28 crew and their ISS colleagues face an uncertain future. Crew rotations are now in limbo. The MS-28 team may be forced to stay in orbit far longer than planned. Extended missions pose real health risks: bone loss, muscle atrophy, and increased cancer risk from radiation. This echoes the 2022 Soyuz MS-22 coolant leak crisis, when a rescue Soyuz had to be launched, delaying the crew's return by 6 months. The current situation complicates safety protocols. Every astronaut needs a seat in a lifeboat capsule in case of emergency. With no clear timeline for repairs, the crew is left in limbo, their homecoming tied to a massive construction project on Earth. The psychological toll is real. Astronauts are trained for the unexpected, but uncertainty adds stress. The Pad 31 failure is a stark reminder: terrestrial problems can directly endanger those representing humanity in space. The safety and well-being of astronauts now depend on how quickly Baikonur can be restored, or replaced. The world is watching, and so are the families of those in orbit. The Pad 31 collapse is a symptom of deeper issues in Russia's space sector: aging Soviet infrastructure, tight budgets, and international sanctions. Baikonur's facilities are relics of a time when cost was no object. Now funding for modernization is scarce. The result: slow decay and public failures, not just in civilian launches, but also in military programs. Just days after the Soyuz incident, a strategic missile test failed spectacularly, highlighting widespread technical challenges. These failures signal a crisis of confidence in Russian rocketry, once the envy of the world. The dream of Vostochny Cosmodrome has been hampered by delays and corruption, leaving Russia dependent on Baikonur. The Soyuz rocket remains robust, but the system is only as strong as its weakest link: launch pads, tracking stations, and skilled personnel. When any part of that chain fails, the whole enterprise is at risk. The recent string of failures suggests the chain is under strain across the board. Russia's status as a space superpower is now at a turning point. While Russia struggles with legacy systems, SpaceX is rewriting the rules of spaceflight at Starbase, Texas. Their philosophy: rapid, iterative development, build, test, break, and rebuild. Starship, their fully reusable rocket, is the centerpiece, designed for Mars and beyond. Early test flights destroyed launch pads, but SpaceX responded with swift upgrades, reinforced steel plates and water deluge flame deflectors. Hardware evolves at breakneck speed. Failures are data points, not disasters. After a booster loss, SpaceX accelerated the debut of Booster 19 with major upgrades. The next-gen Starship upper stage will feature more engines and improved heat shields. This fail-forward approach contrasts sharply with the risk-averse, government-led programs of the past. As Soyuz perfects a legacy design, Starship embodies perpetual evolution. The events at Baikonur and Starbase highlight two diverging paths into our cosmic future. The collapse of Pad 31 has forced a reckoning in space exploration, reshaping international partnerships and the architecture of our presence in orbit. In the short term, Roscosmos must deliver a credible plan for repairs, but the world is already shifting toward American commercial crew providers. SpaceX's Crew Dragon, once a backup, is now the primary way to reach the ISS, altering the balance of power. Russia's compromised launch capability weakens its leverage in the ISS partnership, possibly accelerating new commercial space stations. The contrast between Russia's struggle and SpaceX's innovation marks a paradigm shift. The future belongs to those who can build, test, and fly reusable systems quickly and affordably. The Pad 31 failure is a warning. Even the most reliable technology is doomed if its infrastructure can't be sustained. From the rubble of Baikonur, a new era of space exploration may arise, one defined by resilience, competition, and innovation.